from your block to the comic shop.
Drop a 10 more, son. You know I got tools, infinite.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
You now on that wavelength, time to sign in. As Dove Floyd and Claudius chime in on topics of comics, brought to expand the hip-hop connect with a gauntlet in hand. They got it locked in, they floss in the brand. The block to the comic shop, they cross and examine. Representation's famine and moved on the shelf, and the system is happy with the movement is dealt. We don't wait for the sick to improve on the health, so we pull a Thanos, fine, I'll do it myself. And it'll come out extra clean, fresh for the fans like an extended scene. With the hip-hop and comic dimension, they activate you with gems they presentin'. Hand in the gauntlet, yes, we gon' flaunt it. Hip-hop marvels will bring you the rawness. Hip-hop marvels will bring you the rawness.
We got it locked from your block to the comic shop.
Okay, out there in Marveland, face front, this is Stan Lee speaking. You've probably never heard this before, so anything is liable to happen.
Yeah, man, everything's been good, man. Just working, trying to get this podcast up, been out of here. And I mean, you should have known, like, me. We had countless talks in the past about like comics and stuff like that. So, like, this was pretty inevitable.
Back in the rap mullet era.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The rap mullet. Shout out to Chew Dimes and you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I thought that this, us linking up and chopping it up was important because I know a lot of DJs, a lot of my DJ comrades, we talk about comics and stuff like that, but like you're one of the few that I knew put it into his work, into the projects that you've done.
Yeah, man.
I remember when you dropped American Iron Man, and I was like, yo, like that's so dope.
That was really the start of it all, man, for me. Like, that really put my name on the map, and really, I mean, it really just like it worked so well, and I was just like, damn, I gotta do some more comic book stuff, but just never really got around to it until now. So
right. So like before that, were you heavy into the comics then?
Like I was heavy into the comics back when I was a kid, like in the early 90s, and then as I grew up, I kind of, like you become a teenager, you get into like partying and drinking and girls, weed and shit. So, and then
right.
I think later on, in like my late 20s, when I was a journalist with Thick Magazine, we started covering more than just hip hop. We started covering like movies and comic books, and at that time, like all the comic book labels, like the major comic book labels, were sending us like advanced PDFs of like all the comics dropping. So at that point, like that was probably 2005, somewhere in between 2005 and 2010, probably around the time I did the American Iron Man. And I was just reading so many comics and writing reviews for them that it really re-sparked my love for comics. And then over the last, I'd say 3 to 5 years, I started reading comics and collecting comics again because I was financially in a place where I could actually afford to, because yeah, I'm sure like buying comics, it gets expensive, right? So
yeah, it does. I mean, I think we all went through that phase too. There was like you said, growing up as a kid, I was into the comics. I used to always get my mom to take me to the local comic shop or to like the newsstand or whatever to cop me some comics. And as I got older, like you said, like other things kind of get in the way. For me, like I went into the military, so I was dealing with that, and then I got heavily into music and DJing, so that kind of took a lot of my time, And
it does, right? I mean, it's hard to find the
time.
It
takes a lot of time. Yeah, definitely. And so with that, I didn't, make it out to the comic shop as frequently as I did, once before.
I think one of the great things too was just the Marvel Cinematic Universe coming along and doing such a great job with all the characters you grew up with, and then it really re-sparks you into like wanting to go and read some new comics, right?
Yeah, to go back to American Iron Man, like I said, that was an iconic, mashup tape, and it just blew my mind because for me as a comic book fan, when I seen the cover, I'm like, wait a minute, this is crazy. Okay, he has Iron Patriot on the cover, and it's a Jay-Z Ghostface mashup. American Gangster over Iron Man. It's just like that was perfect to me. And then I remember
it just worked.
Yeah, for sure. I remember tuning into Soul Assassins Radio, and DJ Muggs was bigging it up, and that I thought that was so dope, And that was around the time where you had creative mixtapes for creative DJs like us. We gotten a lot of praise back in the day due to stuff like that. Because here we are, we're taking elements in music that's already out there, and we're forming something new, which is hip hop in itself.
That American Iron Man really just it was a magical project. It just it's like you just doing experiments in the lab with this DJ stuff, and you never know what's going to happen. You have an idea, and then a lot of times a good idea is just a good idea, and it doesn't work out musically. But that just really synced up nicely. And at the time, most people were just doing like the remixes of the American Gangsters with just their own beats, like their own like producers were doing them. And the fact that I flipped it up and did the mashup, or not even a mashup, but like a blend concept with one hip hop album, and somehow they just went together so beautifully. Just both those albums just sounded great together. And then the concept just worked because, I mean, at the time, the Iron Man movie was out and the American Gangster. And then my homie Jordan came up with that image. He found it. Like, I had the idea of like a red, white, and blue Iron Man, but I didn't know even that existed. Like, I just thought he could color like an Iron Man suit or something. And then he found that image, and I was like, damn, like that just really came together. And it really was my masterpiece at the time. It was that time of my career with the mixtapes, because I was doing countless mixtapes, but that one really put me on the map. And like you mentioned, when DJ Muggs, it was funny. It was actually House of Pain that brought it to DJ Muggs. Like Danny Boy.
Oh wow.
Had found out about it, and he found me on MySpace, and he was really excited about the project. So when he was hanging out with DJ Muggs on the show, he brought it with him, and Everlast, Danny Boy, and DJ Muggs were like sitting there talking about the project, and they tried to call me to interview me, but it never happened. And I wish they would have been able to interview me. It was cool, but it's good to see that DJ Muggs is still doing his thing and still showing love to like the underground hip hop, because he's bigging up a lot of the guys that I'm working with, and vice versa. So it's good to see him. He's still got his fingers on the pulse, and I feel like I'm always been that guy too, to just kind of be ahead of the curve and really have my ear out there to find all the new artists that are killing it. So shout out to DJ Muggs.
That's one of the things I dug about your mixtapes. They weren't, I mean, because you remember like the time we were in the mixtape circuit, you had numerous exclusive DJs, and a lot of the track lists and stuff would be the same.
Dudes would just be playing the same hot new stuff that week and yelling and not even mixing, right? It was just like, I always hated that. It was like, I have to like mix, like I have to like do some DJ skill on my projects. Like sometimes
right.
I'd do a hustle tape here and there, but I'd still try to work in like some DJ skill, you know?
Yeah, and not only just the skill, like the art of breaking records, the art of working with underground artists, the art of breaking somebody new.
Yeah, definitely.
And you've done that a lot in your past mixtapes. And what a lot of people don't know is that like me and you, our history goes back. Like we've worked together.
Yeah, man, we've done big things, man. Mash of the Titans mixtape, all those guys, and just way back, and we were both killing it in the game, in the mixtape game in the mid 2000s, there mid to late 2000s. Like Yeah, a lot of these. That's funny because a lot of the guys don't know just like
Yeah.
how many mixtapes I've done and what I've done. Like it was funny. Like a lot of guys, I have some of these. Like you deal with some of the new younger MCs and they don't know the history and they try to be coming at you like wanting money or like trying to like they don't know. You know what I mean? I was just like telling people like I had like platinum artists and superstars doing free exclusives for me back in the day, like before they were even stars. Like I had like Akon and Pitbull doing exclusive verses and hooks, and those guys are like pop stars now. It's like so it's funny when these young guys
Right,
like, and I get
exactly.
it because a lot of times you come into the game, you start getting a little buzz and it goes to your head, but you got to respect the OG DJs. But it is what it is. I mean, my history isn't that well documented. I mean, you'd really have to dig deep to find out a lot about me. So I guess I just need to probably need to make a wiki page and really put all that info out there because people don't know.
Right, right. So let's talk about these EPs, man, which is it like it's crazy cuz you know, we don't talk as often, but every now and again, you know, I see some of the people I came up in the mixtape game with doing their thing, and every now and again I'll see something they're working on, or you know. So I saw, I believe it was it was the Space Stone EP first, the one with Galactus on the cover, and your name was attached to it. So I'm like, what is this? So you know, I dive deep into it, and I'm like, okay, my homie is releasing EPs now. And not only is there just a Space Stone, there's a Reality Stone and a Power Stone. And I was like, okay, I see where he's going with this. You know, so, and then you have the Soul Stone, I believe it drops Friday.
Yep.
Explain a little bit about how that came about, how'd you start it, the artists on it.
Well, I wanted to do a comic book mixtape because I did a Star Wars mixtape a couple years back that was really big, hosted by Raskas, and then after that, like I think people just wanted a comic book mixtape out of me, and I wanted to do one. And I mean, even going back, me and you used to talk. We used to talk about like let's do a comic book mixtape, and we just never did it, which I wish we had. But
yeah, we never got around to it.
It just got to the point where I was like, all right, like I got to do this comic book mixtape, and at a certain point, I was like, because I started working on it and getting people, and it was originally going to be called Enter the Multiverse. And that was last summer, like maybe even last spring, like I'm talking 2018 spring when I was first starting to kind of think about it. And then I was like, if I just do like another mixtape, it's like not that exciting. It's just another mixtape. And so I was trying to think of how can I make it something more special and more unique, and how can I package this so it's like different, you know what I mean? And I just came up with the Infinity Stones because obviously it's timely with the Marvel Infinity Wars movie, and I was just like, if I break it down into 6 EPs of each stone, it becomes a bit more of a collector's item. And it's like you could, like in the movies where he's collecting all the Infinity Stones, you got to do that with my EPs. So, and it really just worked out. And I was like, and then with the packaging and everything, and it's just been kind of like trying to find the right balance of artists on each one and the vibes and the concepts. It's been fun, man. It's been fun, but it's also been difficult when you're trying to do something on that scale and it's still a whole independent, like it's all independent, right? So it's been tough. I wanted to get it done by now before the last end game came out. Just too difficult. Like each EP just has been taking way longer. But
so you have 2 more left after this, and so you already have
2 more left. Yeah.
You already have plans for these, like the rollout and everything.
Yeah, I've already got plans for the next one, the next couple. The rollout for this Soulstone, a little bit hectic. It hasn't been as smooth the rollout this one, but yeah, I've got the Time Stone and the Mind Stone definitely partially done. I mean, I'd say I need about 3 or 4 more songs like total between the 2 EPs. finish them. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with how it's gone, and it's got a. I mean, the main focus is on the new underground, like the new underground artists, like the new wave underground. There's so many, like in the last 2 or 3 years, there's been so many really dope underground artists emerging, and it's that gritty, dirty hip hop, like, but lots of different styles, and it's been fun because I've always loved that style, like dirty underground, like dusty loops and just gritty, gritty bars and shit, street rap, and it's been fun. I mean, these guys are so talented to be able to be like telling them to do concept comic book songs and then having it happen. I mean, not every single song is like a concept, but there's at least references to comic books in most of the songs on the project. So
yeah, that's what I wanted to. I wanted to talk to you about that too as well, because you have, like, I was looking at some of the titles, and of course, you know, I think that's so dope. You know, given what I'm, you know, the platform I'm trying to present to the world now. But you know, you have titles like Secret Wars, Galactus, How to Kill Spider-Man, Wakanda, Gamora's Sacrifice, MODOK, like. And for me, I'm like, it's crazy though, because like that's what you know, back when we were talking about, you know, collabing and doing a project like that, that's what I had in mind too. Like, of course we would do our, you know, DJ thing, but you know, I had in mind like wanting to work with different artists and have them actually craft new exclusive songs, either referencing or like titling, you know, after Marvel characters or things happening in the Marvel universe. So I think what you're doing is it's like crazy dope.
thanks, man. I appreciate that coming from you. It means a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's been fun. Like some of the artists too, like not every rapper like knows everything about comics, but a lot of them have, you know, either done the research or like they're fans of certain comics, and like Craig G on that Secret Wars, he like his verse was just like dead on Secret Wars, like just so many references to that comic. It was crazy, you know.
Yeah, he murdered that.
For sure, man. And like there's been other cats like Lord Juco did that Punisher kills the Marvel universe, and he basically like retells the story that's almost exact to the comic book, but just kind of like spices it up a bit. But it's been crazy, and I mean, like the Wakanda joint, it was timely, and it really just, I mean, so many references, right? So I'm trying because I'm trying to make it as much for the comic book head as it is for the hip hop head. So both people like, and if you're fans of both, then you're really gonna love it. But if you're just a fan of hip hop, you'll still be able to appreciate it. And if you're just a fan of comics, you still be able to appreciate it too. So
yeah, and that, I mean, that's hip hop Marvels in a nutshell, man. Basically, like, so you know, that's why you can just imagine how ecstatic I was, like, to see, you know, I'm like, oh shit, my homie Chong is like, he's banging out like these EPs, you know, and now that you're telling me it's like, you know, from a collector standpoint, which is so dope, to be able to collect the different stones. And
yeah, and they're super limited too. So it's like when they sell out, and so it's like people are.
Yeah, you might only end up with one stone.
A lot of people haven't, like you said, you didn't find out until you didn't find out till the Space Stone, and so there's a lot of guys that didn't find out till the Space Stone because that's been the most successful one. But it just keeps building. Like it's funny. Like after I did the Power Stone, and I dropped the vinyl, and it took like, let's say, at least three to six, somewhere in between 3 to 6 months to sell out. And I was kind of discouraged because I was like, damn, this isn't really like popping off. Like I thought, like, you know, like get the right names, the right concept, the right art, this is just gonna fly off the shelves. And the first one didn't really, so it was kind of like. And then when I dropped the second one took about a month and a half to sell out, and so I was like, okay, people are catching on. And then the third one, it took like less than a week, like 6 days, and it was sold out. And
Oh
I mean,
wow.
I'm doing short runs. It's only like 100 pieces of vinyl, but for some niche underground stuff, it's fully independent. I mean, it's big for me. So,
Right,
and
right.
now it's like there's even people just finding out about it now with with my new post on the Soulstone. So it's like it's growing. So I'm excited about it.
Right. Yeah, man. So like any plans on like what you got planned after the rest of the EPs drop?
Uh, well, I might. Well, I'm working on a lot of albums with various artists. I'm working with Zilla Rocca from Philadelphia on an album. It's kind of got a comic book. It's kind of got a comic book theme to it. The album's called Midnight Suns, and we've got like a Moon Knight song on there. It's like inspired by the Moon Knight comic, and he's a big comic book head too. And so that's a little EP we're doing, side project.
Yeah, you have to connect us, man, and cuz like I said, I'm trying to create a hub for everyone like that.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be good. It'd be good to get him on there too. You guys could do it.
And you said the Soulstone, it drops Friday, so
it drops Friday digitally, but you can also it was also going to have the pre-orders for the vinyl and the CD. That'll be on my Bandcamp page.
okay. So by the time people hear this, it will be out today because this is dropping Friday. So
yeah, it'll be out.
So yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it'll be out today. Hopefully, it's not sold out by the time you're done listening to this, though. The vinyl's selling fast. CDs usually sell a little slower, so you'll probably be able to get all the CDs. Oh, I'm also re-releasing like the Power Stone CD. I'm also re-releasing that this Friday. It's gonna have an extra bonus cut on it. The Power Stone CD originally, I didn't put out the CD originally. It was put out by Deluxe Gourmet, and they did like a really limited run, I think of only 40. And so a lot of the fans that didn't even find out about the Power Stone until either the Reality or the Space Stone, they wanted the CD version because I did like a really nice deluxe kind of digipack version of the Reality Stone and Space Stone on CD, and a lot of people missed out on the Power Stone CD, so that one's also going to come out on Friday. So you want to talk about any comics though?
Yeah. Oh, let's get into
any Marvel comics.
Let's get into that. Actually, I got a question for you. So, who's your favorite Marvel character?
Narrowing it down to a favorite's really tough. I'd probably say Moon Knight right now because we are working on that project, and I like he's a complex character. He's a little bit lesser known, but the whole multi-personality thing and the whole like Egyptian god thing, and just some of the latest runs, like the writers that like Jeff Lemire and Warren Ellis did with him, those kind of like storylines are really good. So he's one of my favorites, I'd say.
Mr. Spectre. Hell yeah, man. Yeah. So what are you reading these days?
I read a lot of stuff. But as far as Marvel, I think the main Marvel title that I'm following right now is the Immortal Hulk series, and that's been really good. It's just been like it kind of was. It almost feels like a throwback to the old like 70s or 80s Hulk TV show, where like it's really got a kind of episodic vibe where he's, I don't know, it's weird. It's got an old school vibe to it. And he's just more like out in the streets, kind of like, I don't know. It's got a crazy vibe, and the art's dope, the story's dope. Just a fresh take on the Hulk. It feels like
that old Bill Bixby shit, right?
Yeah, that old vibe. Yeah. Have you started reading that series yet? Or
nah, I've heard it, exactly the same way you're explaining it is what I've been told. I haven't read it yet, but exactly the same way you explaining it to me is like you said, like very much like episodes of a TV show.
I've been reading a lot of other stuff. I read a lot of Image comics and stuff that's like non-superhero related kind of stuff. But yeah, from Marvel, that Immortal Hulk's prime. my favorite right now. But I'm actually excited about the new Silver Surfer series that's about to come out.
Yeah, I'm excited about that as well.
I think it's called Silver Surfer Black or something like that.
Black, yeah. It has some dope art too.
Yeah, I love that artist. He's probably like one of my favorite artists in the game. That Trad Moore guy.
Yeah, he's dope.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's very dope. And I've been reading the Thor. And I had interviewed Mike Del Mundo about that. But
yeah, I read a few issues of that one.
Yeah,
Mike's art is just crazy. Yeah, I love his art.
Yeah, he's ridiculous with it. And of course, I'm reading. I read some image stuff as well. I'm really enjoying Bitterroot, Sanford Green, and David Walker's book.
Yeah, I've got a few issues of that too.
Yeah, actually, I did see. I saw you post it up on, and I like how you're doing that. Like you'll post up like an album to go with like the comic or something like that. You post it up on your Instagram.
Yeah, I just started doing that. I mean, I've done it once or twice kind of in the past, and shout out my homie Drew. He's this I can't remember his exact. I think I'm Drew on Instagram or something like that. But he started doing it, and I was like, damn, like he's killing it. I gotta fucking step up my comic book hip hop pairing game, and so he kind of inspired me to start doing some. But I don't know if you saw them, but back when Marvel was doing the hip hop variants, around that time I had commissioned a bunch of artists to do Star Wars hip hop variants where I had the concept for each cover. I got them to do it, and it was also part of this art show release party when I did my Star Wars hip hop mixtape. So it's like I had all these custom Star Wars hip hop variants, and they're sick, man. I'll send you some pictures of them, but they're just crazy. I got different artists from all over the world to do them. There's probably about like 10 of them, something like that. Oh man, they're sick.
I was wondering who, because I up until seeing the EP covers, I'm like, who's doing this dope art?
Yeah, that's that cat Rob Israel. I found him on Instagram and just loved his style because he does super bugged out version of characters, like almost what I would call like the acid trip version of characters, and he does it all kinds of different pop culture ones. And I was like, seen some of his Marvel ones, and I was like, oh man, I got to get him to do these because I like bugged out weird shit. I don't like just the normal stuff, you know what I mean? It's got to be a little bit different, you know what I mean? So.
Right. Right. I mean, it shows with with their packaging, with their work and everything. I'm loving the way that the Infinity Stone series is coming out, like with the it looks acid trippy, and because it goes with the hip hop that's on each. Yeah,
because it's more like it's a lot of kind of like that abstract underground hip hop too. It's not like the traditional straightforward. There's a lot of weird songs and stuff, and I really take pride in that packaging and making a good product because like I'm a fan myself and I bought a lot of products, and when you get something that's not high quality, it's just kind of like it feels like you've just been ripped off, you know what I mean, by the artist. So I try to make sure that I've got like the highest quality products because if I'm gonna have somebody paying a lot of money for a nice project, I want them to get the product and be like, damn, this is nice. So because that's part of it, like I said, it's their collector's items, so they have to be, you know what I mean, high quality.
And I think that's what I think that's what folks like me, myself and you, like when we do projects, we have that in mind because we're so used to being fans of dope shit, you know what I mean? And
exactly,
you know what I mean? So we want to present whatever we're putting out in a dope way, and nothing less than that.
Exactly, and I mean, we've both been in the game forever, and I mean, you learn over the years, like when you fuck up and you put out a project that isn't, you know what I mean, the greatest, or you don't have the best art for it, and I just learned, you know what I mean. You learn the hard way, like okay, you got to do it proper. So.
Have you seen? Well, I know you saw it by now. Endgame, and what are your thoughts? give me your thoughts and quick thoughts.
Oh yeah, I saw Endgame. I loved it, man. I loved it. I just it tied up all the loose ends, and it really just sent off Captain America and Iron Man well, and I think it really set up some new storylines really well. And I thought it was good. I know it was long, but they fit so much stuff into that. It did feel a little bit rushed, even though it was a long movie. Like they did have to cram a lot into it, but I'm happy. I was happy with the way they ended it, and I'm looking forward to the new storylines and the new characters. So, I mean, Marvel just can't do any wrong right now. Like everything Marvel is putting out, movie wise, it's been good. I mean, so
yeah, exactly. And I'm pretty stoked to see this new Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah, I've got my tickets already, so I'm ready
to see how it tackles everything after during the aftermath.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I feel like in the two different trailers they've shown us for the Spider-Man, I feel like they're just really trying to throw us off to, like, I don't know what to think about Mysterio and just where they're going with this. So we'll see.
Yeah. I thought that too, because I'm like, okay, this looks a little weird that Mysterio's a good guy.
I just don't even I don't believe it.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not falling for
it.
Yeah, I'm not falling for that shit.
I'm still wondering, like, but how is he fooling Nick Fury? Is Nick Fury really that dumb? Like,
yeah, he's like evading calls and like, hell no, man. Like, that's crazy.
I'm still wondering though. What I'm wondering is, are they going to do the secret Skrull invasion, or could Nick Fury already be a Skrull?
Oh man, that would be sick. I'm hoping they go that route though. I do hope they go, because that's one of my favorite. Besides Infinity Gauntlet, Secret Invasion is like one of my favorites.
Yeah, it was. I feel like they I don't know. They could easily go that route. They kind of set it up slightly with the Captain Marvel movie. So, because one thing that somebody had pointed out to me was that part in Captain Marvel where Nick Fury says he hates like sandwiches cut diagonally. Supposedly in Age of Ultron movie, supposedly he's eating a diagonal sandwich, supposedly. So could be a Skrull already.
That's a good. I didn't even peep that, but you know why? Because Marvel has so much stuff out there, you would have to backtrack, like and you can easily miss something. But that's crazy.
That's a theory I've heard that seems interesting.
Yeah,
so.
I try not to feed into too many of the fan theories, but some of them, I'll admit, some of the theories sound kind of odd, but then you have some out there that sounds, they sound believable, and you're like thinking to yourself like, that could be a possibility. But then Marvel come out and debunk every damn thing that was put out. So
that, right? they're
you know what I mean?
that.
Yeah, like this whole Endgame shit. Like there were like a billion fan theories, and like
none of them are
right. They debunked, at least half of those. It's crazy.
I'm interested to see what Marvel does with their own, or what Disney does with their streaming service, because I guess they're supposed to do the TV shows, like a few like shows, like series, like the Captain America, the new Captain America with Bucky. That's supposed to be like one of the shows, and then I guess like supposedly going to be like a Loki show and like a Scarlet Witch show or something like that. So
yeah, Scarlet Witch or something with the Vision or something like that. But yeah, I'm anxious to see how that's all gonna come together. I think it's a dope move on Disney's part.
Yeah, and I'm excited, man. I think like because they've got the money to, because a lot of times you see some superhero TV shows, you can tell their budget and they don't really have the money to like really make it as good as the movies. But I think with this, Disney might have the money to be able to pull off the TV show series and make them as good as the movies.
Yeah, and make it look decent, and not cheesy. And I think it will be very well put together. So yeah, I'm anxious to see what they break out. I mean, it's a lot. They have a lot in store for all the fans, and and I mean, with the streaming service, with the movies, because I'm definitely anxious to see where, you know, the movies go next, because it's like, okay, Endgame came out, a lot was revealed, you know, they gave us stuff that we wanted, and then they gave us stuff that we didn't know we wanted, and then on top of that, like, they closed it out, like you said, they closed it out on a good note. So I'm anxious to see, where it goes, because
that new Guardians with Thor in it could be good.
Exactly. And see, I'm a when I think of Marvel, especially my early childhood growing up reading comics, I read a lot of the cosmic stuff, and I would like to think that's where they're headed, and the stories that could be told in space and stuff is ridiculous. So, like, that's what I'm excited for.
You go here, but I appreciate the interview.
But yeah, man. Anything you want to plug?
Just shout out my whole team. My homie Jordan Commander, he does a lot of publicity for me and a lot of behind the scenes work. Shout out my art team, Rob Israel. Shout out Trevor Lang, he does a lot of graphic design for me. Shout out Dr. Mindbender, he does a lot of mixing and mastering on all my projects. Shout out to Road Data, it's my homie, he does a lot of beats and a lot of mixing for a lot of the projects as well. So just, I mean, everybody on all my projects, I want to thank them for being on there. It's too many to name right now, but the team is it's crazy. I got so many people I'm working with. So shout out to everybody involved in the Infinity Stones.
That's what's up. And ladies and gentlemen, Soul Stone drops Friday. That's today when this drops. So make sure y'all go out and cop that. Like I said, man, it's been great chopping it up with you. It's been long overdue. Like I said, I got a few ideas. I'm chat with you about.
Definitely, man. We'll build, man. I appreciate you reaching out to me and reconnecting with you, man. It's been way too long, so it's a good chat, and we'll keep building.
We'll stay connected.
Sounds good, man.
All right, man. You have a good one.
All right, you too. Peace.
All right, peace.